Hi, this is revituni.com, and today I would like to share with you a method of creating a metal seam roof directly in Revit. My method will differ from the tutorials you may find already on YouTube, but I think it gives you the most flexibility. It's very similar to the method that I presented with siding, but we will use a little bit different components. Stay with me and subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. This is how the final result will look like. We have a metal seam roof and also metal seam wall with openings for the window. I will show you step by step how to achieve such result. First would be to create a family of beam. So I will go to new family and search for metric structural framing beams and braces. Here we have a beam already as an example, already in this template, but I will select it and delete that. We also don't need this stick symbol line, so I can delete it as well. It would be useful to have a profile that will create a single seam panel, metal panel. So I will take another step by opening a new metric profile template. Profiles are 2D objects, so the only tool that we have here is line. My goal is to create a closed loop of lines. So let's imagine something that will look like a seam roof definition. Okay. Of course, I'm simplifying the profile of such seam, but if you want to be more precise, you can do that. If you have a cut profile, you can import it and try to redraw it. But mine would be very, very simple. And yeah, the panel itself, this was the seam. Let's say it's 1.5 millimeters thick. I'm making sure that it's a closed loop. I don't have anything lines that are extending too much or overlapping, so make sure it's all trimmed perfectly. And now I would like to parameterize the width of that panel. So I create an aligned dimension running from the end up till here. Okay, click. Create a label. It would be a type parameter. Let's call it width. Of course, it's a good idea to save this file as a separate entity. I will go save as family. Once the family is saved, I will load it into the beam family. Okay, maybe save this one as well. Okay, and now I will create a sweep running from the middle reference planes. So I will sketch the path. Okay. Then use an align tool to snap the ends and lock it. Okay. And now, once the path is set, let's select a profile that I just created. Let's look at from the left elevation perspective. This is how it looks like. I click accept. Okay. I can apply and parameterize material. Okay. And in the project browser, I will search for the profile family in order to parameterize the width of this panel. So I double click on the type of this profile, search for the small rectangle, and parameterize it, call it width. This time I will make it an instance parameter. Okay, and let's test it. Let's make this one 800 and this one, I don't know, 2500. If it's not working, maybe I will test it again on the floor plan. I'm not sure why it's not working like I expected, so maybe leave it like that for now and test it in the project. I will create a new project. New. It can be English default metric. And I will start by drawing some roof. Okay. I will uncheck the slope for this one. Let's check how it looks like in 3D. Maybe I will make it more flat. And now I can load my family into it. So I'm going back to the metal panel family and load it into project 4. Let's switch to the side view so I can see it from the higher perspective and start modeling something that is called beam system. Select this option and now I'm starting to draw following the edges of the roof. Make sure that I set the reference plane by picking the plane. Wait, can I switch it now? Maybe not. Okay, if you cannot select this surface, maybe I should do it before I start drawing any line. So I will go set, pick a plane, and then click on it. Now I will go back to site and start redrawing. Okay. This is how it looks like in 3D. Now I will accept this one. Okay, there is something wrong here. Something is overlapping, so I will use the trim command to make sure it's right angle here. Okay, that looks not that bad, but it's a good idea to select all instances of such beams and make sure the Z justification is not top but bottom. Okay. The width of a single beam is 800 millimeters right now. Let's make it maybe 1000 and adjust also the spacing of the beam system. Now it's something like 1800. Let's make it 1000. Okay, but I didn't change all of the beams to be 1000 width. You remember that I made it an instance parameter. So if I modify this property, I'm modifying only the selected object. So maybe I will select all instances visible in view and make sure the width is 1000. Okay. And then again, make sure that the Z justification is bottom. Okay. The justification is set to center, you can see, so it starts with a full panel here, and here we are missing one panel. That's why it's not visible there, but I can easily fix that by copying the panel next to it. Okay, and adjusting its width. Let's measure more or less how much space we have here, 506. So that's why it's useful that this parameter would be an instance. Okay, and here you can see that we have problem with beams extending far beyond the roof ridge. How can I fix that? I will draw a reference plane. Maybe I will first select all these annotations and delete them so we see it clearly. And let's draw a reference plane. Okay. Now I will use a cut command. That's why it's good idea to use it as beams, because cut commands works perfectly with this tool. And if we would be doing it by by mullions, by a glass roof, and trying to do it like that, then we might have problems in more complicated scenarios. That's why I don't like the solution that it's shown by other YouTubers that I saw online. So that's the main problem. Okay, perfect. Let's see how it looks like in 3D. We would follow the same pattern on other side and also on this side. So I can even mirror that by drawing a line along this edge. Okay, I would have to extend it and fix it a little bit. So I would have to also copy basically this reference plane, extend that by unpinning for a second this beams. Oh, you see, my worry about the length of the beam, it was unreasonable. It works perfectly. So when you create your own family in your project, then you can safely snap to the middle reference plane like I did. So okay, and now cut. I can also activate multiple cut. You can see that the wrong side of the roof was cut. I will show you why. So I will uncut it for a second. Revit always cuts the shorter part of the element. So I guess this part was shorter than this one. That's why this one was stayed and this one is gone. So I will for a second artificially extend that and now cut it. Okay, and then adjust the real length. Let's try to apply the same scenario to the walls. So I will go to the side, go architecture, wall, and start drawing something here. Okay. I can go to level 1 and choose underlay in order to see the roof looking up. Okay. And now I will draw a reference plane. Here. Name it like 1, whatever. It's not important. And then create something that is called framing elevation. If the reference plane is called, I'm allowed to snap to it. If not, then it wouldn't work. I will go here. And it's even simpler than with the roof, because now I can choose beam system. My reference plane is already correctly set. I don't have to do anything here. And I simply draw a rectangle. The only thing that we need to pay attention to is the beam direction. So if I want them to be vertical, the same rule applies also to the roof. I need to switch beam direction to this line. Okay. Again, it needs to be a 1000. And also, of course, this should be up to level 2. Okay. I'm trying to select the beams in order to modify the justification, so I will use a frame and filter that, switch from top to bottom. Okay. And make sure all those beams have the width of 1000. Okay. Perfect. I can hide this wall for a second so I will see it, how it should look like. Its justification is set to center. I think it looks okay. Okay, we overrode also this one by selecting all instances. So I can go back to 505. I guess you know how to work with this system that I created right now. So the only thing that we would have to adjust is it's how those end beams are connecting to the roof. Also copying maybe something as well. Okay, let's make it 505 as well. Move it. Cool. And now the system is ready. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and if you have any other idea on how to approach this subject. I encourage you also to subscribe to my channel and leave a thumbs up if you liked what you just saw. Thanks for watching and see you soon.